I'm Joe Reed, and this is Behind the Mic with AudioFile Magazine. Kendra Winchester is with me. She's a contributor to AudioFile, and we've had a lot of fun talking about audiobooks this week. Hey, Kendra.
Hello, excited to, end on a high note.
Okay.
So today's audiobook is They All Fall the Same by Wes Browne, and this is read by Matt Godfrey. And this is like an Appalachian noir thriller. And I went into it not knowing anything about it, and I finished it in basically 2 days. I was inventing chores to do so I could keep listening
Wow.
to this book.
Now, Wes Browne, he wrote Hillbilly Hustle, didn't he?
He did.
That's what I thought. But tell me about this. They All Fall the Same, because I looked at the notes, and this is more of a thriller.
Yes. So this is about Burl Spoon, who's basically an organized crime boss. He kind of rules over Jackson County, Kentucky. He has, law enforcement and judges in his pocket. He feels like he's pretty set. But then his daughter, who's a recovering drug addict, disappears. And he kind of just assumes that she's relapsed. But as he begins to investigate and have his people look for her, everything just turns upside down and his whole life is upended.
So basically, the main character is a crime boss.
Yes.
Now that's interesting.
Yes. It's like a Tony Soprano situation
Hmm.
where he's not a good guy, but somehow you root for him sometimes and you have to deal with those feelings while you're listening. I think people who love S.A. Cosby or David Joy would really enjoy this kind of book. It has the same like grit to it. And it's also funny in parts, which I didn't expect.
Now, from looking, I'm just looking online as you're speaking. This is falling into a category known as rural noir. Do you want to explain a little bit what that is?
Yeah, so rural noir, Appalachian noir, hillbilly noir, they're this type of Appalachian book that is like we would consider noir, so dark and gritty and different things. But this one is set in eastern Kentucky in a rural area, and it has these unique cultural qualities that are unique to the location, and in that way, a type of regional literature. And one of the things I really appreciate is that Brown is very dedicated to getting everything correct for this particular area of the country. And I went to an author event that he was doing, and he said that he sent his narrator like this 12 to 15 minute message of how to say place names correctly. And I just thought that was so interesting, that the detail, even in an audiobook.
Good for him. And let's hear about the narrator, Matt Godfrey.
Matt Godfrey does such a great job. I've listened to a lot of Appalachian audiobooks where the narrator just misses. They do their best, but it's a very local type of literature. But Matt Godfrey, you can tell he used that guide, and the way that he says place names and the way his accent is done, it's seasoned but not overdone. The way he does dialogue, it's all so well done, and I was very impressed.
So why don't we hear a little? Do you need to set this up for us?
This is the beginning of the novel where Burl Spoon is with his young mistress and he's about to head off to pick up his granddaughter from school.
This is an excerpt from They All Fall the Same by Wes Browne, read by Matt Godfrey.
She flipped her hair. What about later? You mean tonight? Yeah, I was thinking we could go over to Red Lobster. I've been craving that shrimp scampi, and you could get you some of them Cheddar Bay biscuits you like. He smiled at her, took her by the wrist, withdrew her hand, and stepped back. I'm afraid that ain't in the cards tonight. Why don't you go on over there? You could get them boots you was talking about, and next time I come by, you could model the whole outfit for me. How'd that be? Red Lobster don't taste as good alone. Burl pulled in a deep breath and sighed it out just as long. No, I know it don't, but it can't be helped. He tugged at the seams at the edges of his jeans and smoothed them down his thighs. What about your little girlfriend, Marcy? I bet she'd eat some shrimp with you. You mean Mandy? Yeah, her. Whitney crossed her arms. We ain't talking.
And that's actually really good. The narrative voice, almost non regional at all, and then moving into the characterizations.
Yes.
That's, you know, that is a really good switch and I think pretty smart.
He makes smart choices when it comes to, like, featuring such a region that has a very strong accent, and I really appreciated that, and it never feels comedic in any way, the way that he performs the accent. It's just very down to earth,
Yeah.
very realistic in a lot of ways, and I just think he did a great job.
Yeah, I think Appalachian accents are often like New York accents, where they can be both can be very broad, but sometimes when somebody is performing it in that broad manner, it's like fingers on a chalkboard.
Right, exactly.
That is They All Fall the Same by Wes Brown, read by Matt Godfrey. Well, Kendra, thank you. It's been a great week, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, same. Always love talking audiobooks.
And I'll speak to you next month.
All right.
Tomorrow, it's a bonus edition of Behind the Mic. I speak with 2025 Golden Voice, Vikas Adam. He is an absolute audio shapeshifter, and you won't want to miss this conversation. That's tomorrow on Behind the Mic. Support for Behind the Mic is brought to you by Zondervan, publisher of Now You Can Stop Running, Finding the Rest Your Soul Desperately Needs, written and narrated by Pastor Terry Christ. Available everywhere you get your audiobooks.